On that day, Americans reached out to console each other as we all grieved over the loss of life from the cowardly attacks spearheaded by Osama bin Laden. Yesterday, Americans stood together again. This time we took to the streets with relief and pride in our nation's leadership who persevered to ensure that justice was done. Members, please join me today in showing our appreciation to our nation's military personnel, our intelligence professionals, and our president for a mission that has taken 10 years to accomplish. And members, I ask that you just bear with me as I read the resolution in whole. Whereas on September 11, 2001, Osama bin Laden, a sworn enemy of the United States of America, coordinated a series of monstrous and cowardly terrorist attacks that resulted in the tragic loss of 2,977 innocent lives, leading to an engagement in a war on terrorism across many fronts. Whereas on May 1, 2011, after nearly 10 years of bin Laden's invasions of military and intelligence forces seeking his capture, President Barack Obama declared to the nation and the world that bin Laden had finally been killed and that justice had been done. Whereas the president's patience, leadership, wisdom, and determination have led directly to the demise of the most wanted man in the world and have hardened this nation's resolve to the mastermind behind the worst terrorist attack on American soil, he has struck a significant and historic blow against all Al-Qaeda. Whereas following the death of the perpetrator of the attacks, the family members and friends of those who lost their lives in the attacks on September 11th are able to achieve a greater sense of closure. Whereas after months of meetings of the National Security Council, led by President Obama, who directed intelligence officials to zero in on bin Laden's whereabouts, intelligence officials devised and carefully carried out a clandestine operation which had frequently been rehearsed in an effort to minimize casualties, both civilian and military. Whereas Commander-in-Chief of our great nation, he boldly gave the final authorization to commence the operation to brave and highly trained members of our nation's armed services. Whereas upon hearing the news of bin Laden's elimination in an impressive show of unity and in defiance of the fanatics who still today seek to destroy our free way of life, jubilant citizens expressed pride in our nation and our president by spontaneously celebrating the news in cities across the country, singing the Star-Spangled Banner and loudly chanting USA. And former Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush have offered him their congratulations, whereas domestically, he has acted with both initiative and organizational acumen toward the precautionary defense of our citizens and has successfully prevented a terrorist attack on American soil during his service to our nation as president. Whereas internationally has wisely exercised the use of diplomacy to nurture collaborative relationship with other nations, which has helped improve the freedom and safety of the world's peoples. And whereas President George W. Bush had the near universal support of the freedom-loving peoples and countries of the world after the attacks on September 11, 2001, when he famously pledged to defend freedom against fear, saying, "We will not tire, we will not falter, and we will not fail." And President Obama had the strength and the wherewithal to see that pledge through to fulfillment. And whereas legislatures in Texas reaffirmed the solemn creed that we are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, who stand strongly behind the president with respect to these several issues as he confronts the grave problems of national and international security. Now therefore be it resolved that the 82nd legislature of the state of Texas hereby congratulate President Obama on his proven and successful policies in the war and terrorism and in homeland security, and be it further resolved that the 82nd Legislature of the United States of the State of Texas hereby commends the intelligence personnel who diligently and quietly toiled for years to uncover the whereabouts of bin Laden, and whose achievement, while historic, may never be fully known to the public. Resolved that the 82nd Legislature of the State of Texas hereby commends the members of the armed forces who successfully and heroically carried out an incredibly sensitive mission with no military losses, with a minimal loss to civilian lives. Resolved that the Secretary of State forward official copies of this resolution to the President of the United States, to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and to the President of the Senate of the United States Congress, to the Governor of Texas, and to all the members of the Texas delegation to the Congress, with a request that this resolution be officially entered into the congressional record as a memorial to the Congress of the United States. And members, I've always felt very strongly about our military personnel, but at this point in time, I cannot really share with you the emotion that I have been going through since last night. So I ask for your full support on this resolution, and thank you all very much for allowing me the opportunity to be here today and to present this resolution to you.
Mr. Speaker.